Excuse me. Hello, and welcome back to Yappily Ever After, where we talk about all things wedding. Today, we're doing something a little bit different, where Sarah and I will be walking through some of the top movies of our youth, our childhood, our adolescence that really shaped our view of weddings. And I feel like media has a very specific way of really like imprinting on you the way that you have expectations or visions or things. So I'm really interested to see whether we have overlap in our movies. We have not colluded on this at all. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. But I'm Hannah Roze, one of your hosts, the founder and CEO of Plannerd.
And I am Sarah Peterson, the head of marketing for Plannerd.
Okay, so we have our list. I'll only briefly show mine because I think it's fairly see-through.
Same.
We go in reverse order of their impact on us as a wedding view.
I feel like I did mine. So each of mine is like for a different thing to do with wedding planning.
Oh, I love this.
That makes sense. Yeah. So mine was like, I was going to rank them and then I was like, no, they're all like equally important, but they're all for different parts of wedding planning.
Yes.
So there's some out there ones. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Okay, go for your number 5 or your number 1.
Okay. We're just gonna go with the top one. So movies that shape my wedding opinions. My first one is, and I would hope that this is on yours as well. My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Nice. Love it.
And the reason it's on there is because I think obviously it's like a very dramatized version of like family, like familial relations when it comes to weddings. But I think I should have paid attention to it more because the second that I actually started planning my own wedding, I was like, oh, it really is like everyone has 10,000 opinions and like starts doing things for you or like tells you what they think you should do. And so I feel like when I initially watched the movie, I was like, that's hysterical. That's like so out there and not real. And then once I started planning my actual wedding, I was like, I should have been taking notes.
That movie is iconic, and I think the two moments, well, it's also so quotable, like the woman is the neck, turns the head, that is iconic.
Yes.
So the two moments that really stick out to me from like a planning perspective are the giant wedding binder, first of all, with like the invitations and the little samples and things. I fully thought that was going to be a thing when I was planning my wedding. And then the other one is when the mom is like, oh, I got your invitations already. And she's just like gone out on some crazy limb and like already done a bunch of stuff. I definitely expected, and that kind of happened, not all the way, like people just kind of doing their own thing. But yeah, those moments especially.
Exactly. I mean, it's a good movie. This inspired me. I'm like, now I want to watch it again, just with fresh, newly engaged eyes.
Yes, we need a viewing. Okay, mine first one is The Wedding Planner.
I have this one as well, so I'm taking it off.
Yes, this is just also an iconic wedding movie. I also love how the movie industry thinks that if you put tiny glasses on anyone, it'll look like that person is not spending 8 hours in the gym a day, aka Matthew McConaughey. I think this movie is just so like warm and fuzzy and also cringy at the same time. Like when they're in the car picking their wedding song and they're supposed to be in love, but they've only known, like J-Lo wants him, but they've only known each other for 2 seconds, but somehow you're rooting for them against like his fiance. Why are we doing that?
I also just think the reason it's on mine is because the absolute first scene when she's like on the headset at the big wedding, that literally, I think, catapulted me into the wedding industry because I was like, I'm so type A. This is my dream. This is my dream. And I was like, I could do this. Like, this would be so much fun. Obviously, without the big binders and stuff, because we don't need those anymore. But that specific scene, I was like, oh, weddings are my thing.
The headset was everything with the little tiny mic, and she's feeding him the speech from the back room.
It literally, I ended up getting walkie-talkies for my team and I for like big venues. And every time I have to use them, I feel like her.
You're like on a secret mission, like
Literally.
Hours over.
The issue with it is like the headsets, honestly, I get the headset. That's smarter because then you can hear people without everyone hearing people. That's the issue with the walkie-talkie is I'm like, you guys have to, like, if you're near guests and the walkie-talkie goes off, you could have a big problem really fast.
Yeah, everything is falling apart and it's terrible. Over.
Over. I hate the dress. Over.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
They're already breaking up in the back room. Over.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 2. I shouldn't have taped this tight. You taped yours better. 27 dresses.
Oh, I have that on mine as well, somewhere in here.
27 dresses because I feel like this is another one of those, like the first scene when she, like, you know, when she opens the closet and there's like 10,000 dresses and she's just ran from like one wedding to the next. I feel like that was my life before planning my own wedding. And so just like the overwhelm and just like exhaustion of attending 10,000 weddings and having everybody else's, like, you've just been a part of too many weddings, which like kind of ruins your own wedding planning. But then once you meet your person and you know, can actually envision your own wedding the way that you want it, then it gets a lot better. But I just feel like that is the character out of like all wedding movies that I relate to the most.
Yeah, I think the exhaustion of going to so many weddings, I think, is very real for so many people. And it's too bad and annoying. And I hear my friends express just frustration who are getting married in their like mid 30s where they've been to so many weddings and you don't want yours to feel like throw it on the pile, another wedding. You want people to be excited about it. And so that's like such a frustrating feeling.
And you want to be excited about it. That was like one of the tough parts of even like starting to plan our own wedding is I was like, okay, I already know that things have to be very unconventional for me to have a good time. Otherwise, it's going to feel like my like 9-to-5 job because it is. And so it did dictate. Hopefully, that makes it a much more fun experience for everyone else because it'll also be something that they haven't seen before, you know?
Yeah, totally. It also, to me, looking at all the dresses and all the themes, it was signaling to me weddings equal over the top. Like
over the top.
You can go so far in any direction and you are permitted to do this because you are the person, the bride, the couple, and everyone needs to just like fall in line and get psyched for you.
Yes.
It's true to some extent, but yeah, that's an amazing piece of cinema.
We love
okay, my next one here is
Monster.
Okay, I was obsessed with Monster-in-Law for some reason when I was younger. I don't know why I have so much J-Lo on my board here.
Well, she did a lot of wedding movies for some, like, why? I don't know.
She really did. The Woman Loves Love. Back in the day, those little DVD players, like that you would take somewhere. My parents had like the DVD player. We took it on a road trip, and Monster-in-Law was the one DVD that we had in there for some reason. It was like Monster-in-Law and Rat Race. I don't know why. I'm like 8 years old. I don't know why those were the two. I just watch Monster-in-Law over and over and over again. So just seeing her, Jane Fonda, do the ridiculous things that she did was so funny. And I don't know that it signaled something to me about weddings other than like their family dynamics can be crazy.
It actually, I think it gave me an expectation that like you will get a monster-in-law. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it made me think like all mother-in-laws are going to be crazy. Granted, I have a wonderful, wonderful mother-in-law. So I'm not saying she's crazy. She's not. But I think it like set the tone of like, this is what you can expect.
Yeah, I feel bad for the mother-in-laws out there who are putting in a good name for the role, but
the monster-in-laws.
That was a frequently watched film for me.
Okay, next one. This is, well, I'll get to it. Okay, Crazy Rich Asians. Mm-hmm. The aisle scene specifically.
Yeah.
Really did a lot for me. And this movie is not old. Like this was like what, like 3-4 years ago. And obviously this wedding is like beyond over the top because like no one can actually afford to pull off the wedding that you see in the movie. But the aisle scene set me off because I was like, oh my God, what a creative. I still cry at the aisle scene every single time. For those of you that haven't seen it, go watch it, because they like fill the aisle with water. She like walks down, there's a pond. It's just like stunning and not your traditional like ceremony aisle. And I feel like it actually did contribute to us planning our own wedding, because I was like, I want a really unconventional aisle, which I am doing. So mine is not traditional in the slightest. We're doing.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but what I will say is it's not a straight aisle at all. Like it's funky and out there. And so I feel like it really dictated when it came to like, you just hadn't seen that before. And so once I saw that, I was like, oh, creativity for like the ceremony is cool. Like you can do other things. It doesn't just have to be you walking down the straight aisle with the like, you know, rows of like you can make it cool. And so this one's like actually, yeah, this actually dictated my actual wedding.
Yeah, I feel like this one to me was one realization that weddings can be a production.
Yes.
And that it's not just, you know, the typical elements of a wedding, but you can think even in the theatrical realm, and guest experience is also like they're your audience, and how can you surprise them, offer something delightful and out of the box. So I had the same reaction to that movie too, although my operational brain was like, where's the water going?
Yep. No, I thought the same thing. I was like, they would have had to line it, and then people would have had to enter from the outside. Like, no.
Yeah,
will not be pulling off.
Yeah, the logistical questions made me really wonder, but the production value was all
incredible. Incredible. I love that.
Okay, let's see. I'll skip over 27 dresses, which was also on my list. Obviously, iconic. Oh, and my next one, my Big Fry Creek wedding. Okay, I'm skipping all the way to the end. My best friend's wedding.
Oh, that's a good one.
This is one of my all-time favorite movies outside of the wedding realm, but even as a kid, like I would watch this as a child, which is like not appropriate most likely, but there's something that I love about the bittersweetness of it and all the different layers and textures of the relationships. And there's like yearning and regret, but thankfulness and optimism, and it's all kind of wrapped up in there. And I loved how real it was. I love a, you know, happily ever after moment, but I'm really drawn to things that kind of play with the textured layering, like complexity of emotions and relationships. And so even as a kid, I really love that movie.
I love that.
Yeah, so many iconic outfits and hair and scenes. Like Julia Roberts to me is like everything. The smoking scene in the hallway, getting the ring stuck on her finger, all the things. The singing at the long table, and the little beginning skit with the bridesmaids. Like that movie is flawless to me. So
it's a top wedding movie. Okay, my last one is crazy and a little out of the box, but you'll get where I'm going with it.
Okay.
And I don't know how many people have seen this movie. It came out like probably like 5 to 10 years ago, and I don't think ever really made it big. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Wait, I feel like I saw this a long time ago, but give me like a little refresher.
It's Zac Efron and oh my god, Adam Devine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, is Aubrey Plaza in this too?
Who? Yes. Yeah. And oh, what's her name from Pitch Perfect? Oh my god, that's gonna drive me insane. Regardless, the guys are like an absolute shit show, and they keep ruining weddings. Like every wedding that they're invited to, they're an absolute shit show. So they're like causing havoc and like get kicked out of all their family weddings and stuff. And so their mom, there's this like prim and proper woman, is like, I'm so sick of this. You guys are 30. You need like actual dates to this wedding, or you can't come. Like dates that will keep you in check. And so they like go on this talk show and are like all dressed up prim and proper and are like, we need wedding dates to this wedding in Hawaii. And these two girls, Aubrey Plaza being one of them, are also a shit show and see this, and they're like, oh my god, we can get a free vacation out of this. We just have to pretend to be prim and proper. So then it makes it like twice as bad, because they're just like ruining this wedding, and the girls are like even more of a disaster than they are. And this taught me +1 etiquette.
There's a column in your guest list that says, are you a liability or not? Yes or no.
Literally.
This is making me think of Wedding Crashers also, which I feel like definitely should have been on my list somewhere.
It was like, I wish I could have tied it in better, because I agree. The first thing I thought of when I thought of wedding movies was Wedding Crashers. Although it's not, then I actually like thought about it and I was like, it's really more the like drama like after and before the wedding and stuff, but you don't actually like, it didn't teach me anything about weddings themselves.
Have you ever been working a wedding where there were wedding crashers?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Two.
What happened? Tell me.
One of them, this is crazy. One of them was actually the makeup artist. This is wild. Oh. The makeup artist came.
Good time. I'm gonna stay.
she did the like hair and makeup and everything, and I guess this is her actual hairstylist who she goes to. And so I think because of that, she thought, like, the makeup artist thought they were better friends than they actually were. And so she brought a dress, ball gown, mind you, ball gown. It was not that kind of wedding. It was like a little more casual than that. Definitely didn't need a floor length dress. Black ball gown to a beachfront wedding, and changed and just appeared like right before the ceremony. And everyone was like, what is this? Also, the dress style was crazy. Plunging down to beyond the belly button, and then like no back, like crazy dress. Like, you definitely, a lot of tape was needed to like keep this thing on.
Oh my God.
My second shooter and I are like, who is that? Like, I'm like, wait, she looks familiar. And I'm like, that's a makeup artist. And I'm like, weird. Maybe she did like get invited and is just like late to the ceremony. I don't know, but she's been here since 8 a.m. So that's weird.
Was there a place setting for her?
No. So that was the issue. Was Rudy was trying to get her to leave, and she would not leave. She sat in her car the entire whole wedding. Like 4 more after that.
What do you think? Like, was it just a huge miscommunication, or she was just doing it without like caring about the consequences?
I have no idea. When I left the wedding at like 11:30, 12, she was still in the car, and security was still sitting there. They like moved a van over to like sit next to her because they were like, we can't let her back in, but like, what do we do? There's nothing.
Oh no, that's not like the playful wedding crashing. That's like something going down.
That was something going down for sure. I've had other ones. If they're at public places, like I did golf courses specifically. I don't know why golf courses, but it makes sense because you get like, you know, rowdy groups of like drunk guys who have just played 18 holes of golf with like 18 beers in them, who are like, oh my gosh, there's a wedding. I've seen it happen way more than 5 times.
Yeah. Is it bad to admit that it's kind of on my bucket list to crash a wedding? Like, like there's so many times when I've just like seen one in the distance, or been like maybe at a hotel, if there's someone happening at a hotel.
Oh yeah.
There have been instances where I was already dressed up, and you're like, I could like kind of fit in and just like swoop in, like more so just go on the dance floor for a song and then leave. Not like have their food and have their drinks, but like just like do a little dancing and then peace out. And then
absolutely, you can totally get away with that. Also, people don't realize how many vendors are there. Like, there's so many vendors that like the bride and groom don't even know, you know, because like the catering staff has like 30 people. So you've got all these other people walking around that like brides and grooms don't. I feel like people think that like if you were to crash a wedding, they'd be like, hey, no, like they really wouldn't notice. I don't think.
There's this wedding photo of ours that is actually framed in our bedroom, and it's us doing our first dance, and he's doing this like very romantic dip, and it's very beautiful. And in the background, there's like a row of our guests kind of in a circle watching us, but there's one person who we cannot figure out who it is. Literally, like it's like it's in black and white, and it's a little bit obscured. But we have been racking our brains to figure, and the person is in a suit.
Years.
Yes, for years. We're like, who the hell was this person? Like, it must be just like a weird angle or like a shadow, and we can't recognize them. But I'm literally like, I don't know who this is.
My best friend got married last July, or a year ago in July, and this is crazy. One of her now husband's college friends was supposed to bring his wife, because that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Instead, he thought you could sub like +1s. So he just brought this other dude. And I guess the dude literally, he was there for the ceremony, cocktail hour, and then went on a walk during dinner. And then
because there was no space for him.
Because there's no table, like there's no spot for him at all because he wasn't supposed to be there. And then came back and partied at the reception.
Just go for a walk. Just give yourself a little breather while you're not welcome.
In and out, like a few blocks over, and then came back for the dancing and reception. And we were like,
so crazy.
What a wild thing it's one. I don't know.
Like a ticket that's transferable to whoever.
Exactly. I'm like, no, because name cards are involved. Like, he should have known better. So
that is funny.
A lot of wedding crashers.
Yeah. My parents got married when they were 21 years old, so very young, and like in college still. And they said that they had a number of wedding crashers at their wedding because it was at kind of like this, I think it was maybe a public park or like an open area where there wasn't any like definition around the venue. And they said that the word just spread in their friend group that my parents were having a party and that people should come down to the venue to party with them. And it wasn't communicated that like this was actually their wedding, not just like a kegger, you know? So apparently they had a lot of wedding crashers, but it was more casual and chill. So they didn't kick anyone out, but it was like, oh, I didn't expect to see you here. Also, a condition on our wedding that I made clear was I don't want to see any other brides on my wedding day.
100%.
Like, I think I've been to some weddings where there's like a little sign. It's like, for this wedding, go this way. For this wedding, go that way. And like, can I be a diva on one day of my life where I don't want to interact with anyone else who's like also doing this?
Yep. That happens at like those like big, like Play-Doh Pumper Factory wedding venues that have like, you'll have like 5 brides in the building at once, which is crazy to me.
I could see that in some way being like kind of celebratory and festive if you were in the right mindset, but I wasn't in that mindset.
No. And like if you have like the better dress and the better hair and makeup team, but otherwise I feel like you'd be like, oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Kudos to you. Oh my gosh. That's like my my birthday was a couple weeks ago and we did a little staycation, and I don't know. I like to be a diva on my birthday. That's just, I don't want to. Birthdays and weddings. I had 2 weddings, my elopement and my normal one. So I got to be diva twice and then my annual birthday. But there were, no joke, like 5 different people celebrating their birthday at the same hotel.
No.
Yes. I kept seeing people with like presents and birthday stuff. And they're like, oh, it's my birthday. I'm like, oh, me too. It's like, okay, fine. I'll be an adult. There are other people who have their birthday on this day. Fine.
Not as fun. Don't they know?
Well, that was fun to go through the wedding movies. I feel like there's just so many iconic movies that really set the tone for our expectations, our visions. If anyone listening has movies that we did not mention, would love to hear what movies shaped your perspective, your expectations of how weddings would be yours or others. I'd be very curious to hear.
Even if it's like movies that I was trying to find movies that like tie to weddings but aren't specifically wedding movies.
Yeah.
Even if it's like that, like The Proposal.
Oh my gosh.
Great movie. I
have never laughed harder than the scene in the forest when she's dancing. Oh my God. I almost wet my pants in the theater. I love Sandra Bullock so much. Oh my God.
That kind of stuff. We want to know all of your wedding movies that shaped you, or non-wedding movies that shaped you.
Yes. Okay. For our recurring segment of Love It or Leave It, Sarah is going to give us some hot topics from her wedding journey. And like we've said in the past, if you are on the same planning chapter as Sarah, August 2026 bride, or if you're at any point, would love to hear how your planning journey is going. But Sarah has some fun Love It or Leave It's for us to close it out.
Absolutely, we do. First up is full service wedding planner or day of coordinator. I want to hear your take.
So since we got to do 2 weddings, our 14-person elopement and then the 170-person like blowout deal. For the 14-person, we did not have a planner. We did not have a day of coordinator. It was like literally in the backyard of this gorgeous rental house. And it was like an hour before we were moving the table where the aisle was going to be. And it was like the most DIY you can possibly imagine. But the one moment that I wanted to have someone other than myself, my parents, our friends, was coordinating people where to stand and when to hit go on the music.
Yep.
It was literally like, I'm the one creating the vision for the day. Like my husband was helping, but I was really like, you here, this person over here. But when it's literally there, okay, there were 14 people. You're literally like, okay, I want to be hidden because I wanted to like walk down the aisle and not have everyone have already. Actually, I guess I had done kind of like a first look with people, but you know, you don't want to be like running around.
No.
So I was having to like tell people like, you go sit down, parents, you go over there. And it was a little bit of a chaotic moment leading up to like walking down the aisle and who's pressing play on the music. And so that was definitely like a DIY moment that could have been made smoother, but it could have also been like, I could have designated a friend in that small group to be that point person. And that was just like, I was not thinking about the flow.
So you wish you had had a day of coordinator.
I think it was so small that would have been even overkill to have a coordinator, but I should have had a point
person
other than me to be like, don't worry, I got it. I will tell the people to sit over here and then I will like cue the person on the music and have it be like a little bit less control freak of me to be like, you over there, you over there.
Did you have a wedding planner for your big wedding?
Oh yeah, we had a wedding planner. She was amazing. Shout out to Simone. And I think she's in LA now. She used to be in the Bay Area, but yeah, she had done, I think like 30 or 40 weddings at our venue before,
that's important.
Yeah. So she had all the best info and they like grandfathered her in on a bunch of stuff that they now had fees related to. And they were like, oh no, we like, if Simone's doing it, then we know we'll hook you up. So she knew exactly how to operate in that venue. I think our venue is absolutely gorgeous. We got married at Holman Ranch in Carmel. If anyone wants to look it up, it was so beautiful. It's definitely more of a wedding. I don't want to say wedding factory, but it's more of a wedding venue site than I really thought it was. So I kind of thought I was discovering it. And then it was like, it's a thing.
You're like, no, we do 75 a year.
Yeah. 100%, 100,000%. I was like, this niche little cool place has exactly what I need. And then like a million kids were like, me too. So that's fine. But yeah, I think at that scale, 170 people, I think their venues will require you to have a planner. I think at that level, it truly is a production. And I would not have wanted to go without someone. And she was absolutely critical in making sure that our day was like completely flawless. And the things that didn't go flawlessly, I never even knew about it. So
yes, which is exactly what you want. I'm also doing full service planner, same kind of thing. She's done a bunch of weddings at the venue. So like she knows all these little niche things because our venue is very specific in the fact that we have to bring everything in. So we have to create the venue from like ground zeros. From a peace of mind standpoint, I think she's going to be imperative. And I know that our wedding weekend, I won't have to worry about anything, even though, there's 10,000 vendors and things being built and put up and like all of that. That is what she's doing. And I will be, hanging out, drinking a mimosa somewhere else.
And your family and your friends get to be guests at the wedding rather than like working the wedding. And I think that was what the difference between our 14-person elopement and the 170 was. Like we were doing the logistics and enjoying the day. It was very low stress because it was so few people. But my mom and my parents and my in-laws got to just totally kick back. And I think was like the biggest gift we could give to them, was that they got to enjoy the day, and then also we did too. So yeah.
I agree. Okay. Number 2, having a strict wedding website with FAQs.
I think there's nothing better than a long FAQ list, because
Thank you.
every question that's going to come up, other people will also have that same question. And so rather than making people call you or call someone or text someone, I do think there is something useful about right up at the wedding, like the day of, resend the link to people. Because I live and breathe weddings right now, but even as a guest at weddings, I have literally been, morning of, and you're like, where is their wedding website? Where is the invitation? Where is the thing I'm supposed to be referencing? I got this a year ago. I have no idea where it is. Yeah. What time does it start? What is the thing? Like, I would say, even though you've given them all the information at some point, my tip would be send out that link again, like morning of or night before. So it's right there in people's inboxes so that they can see. But yeah, love a long FAQ.
I'm going love it 110%, because my website is so like type A, read this here, read like now, that I added a banner. I paid extra to be able to add a banner to my website so that people don't even have to get to the travel page. In the top of the website, it says like book your hotel now. Like it's a destination. There's very few hotel options to begin with, and like we want it to be. And honestly, I think it's good to like hound people now to get things done, because then it'll make it easier on everyone once they're there.
I was on your wedding website yesterday looking at the travel, and I was looking at the hotels, and it actually brought up a question I wanted to ask, because I think other people, it's not about the logistics, but just like overall.
Yes.
So when it comes to guest questions, what do we think about what to ask who, especially when so the 2 things that came to mind, hotels and then attire. So the first one is like, you and I know each other. I don't know the whole rest of your extended family, so I wouldn't be like texting your mom rather than you to ask. So I want to be like, what hotel do you think I should stay in? Like, what is the best one that you would be like, I gave you 2 options, but like, this is the better one.
Yep.
And then the second one is, how annoying is it, or how interesting is it when guests send a screenshot or a link to an outfit they're thinking of wearing? Because
I actually like it. I like it, and I feel like some brides would not like it, but like I think everybody knows me well enough to know that I'm so blunt and picky and just straightforward that like I will tell you. I love when people reach out to me. I think that's great, and it makes it, especially for ours, because I'm like, okay, I'm making it a destination, so I expect people to not know anything about where they're going, and B, I made a dress code, which that's been a hot topic.
It was very straightforward. I don't know what you're talking about. It was very good.
My family does not think so. My family's like, so you want us to wear cowboy boots with long dresses? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like formal, but you're at a ranch.
I love when people on the invite or on the wedding website will tell you what the ground is.
Yes.
That is the most helpful piece of info I think you could give, because it tells me everything I need to know about my outfit. Do I need to wear a wedge or a heel? Is that okay? Like, because even if it's at a golf course or, some kind of typical venue, if there's like a lot of gravel or cobblestone or something, like, give me the details that I need to know.
Mine is loose gravel, grass, and pavement. All 3.
Yeah.
Meaning cowboy
definitely boots. I am so excited to break out my cowboy boots. I am for sure wearing them. And I'm going to start brainstorming my outfit now, which I'm very excited about.
See, and I love that people are like actually getting into it. I feel like it's one or the other. It's either people are like really excited because it's not something they get to do usually, or like some people don't even own boots. They're like texting me being like, where do I get boots? And I'm like, oh, I would love to tell you. Like, here's all the brands of boots. And then there's other people who are like, this is so inconvenient. She's like making us dress like clowns.
Okay, well, those people need an attitude adjustment.
I agree. Okay. Oh, this is actually, well, it ties into color, but it's not. I thought it had to do with clothes. It does not. The next one is a color-coded budget and 50 tabs in your Google Doc. Love it or leave it. I feel like we both stand on the same.
Yes. I think so. So planner.
Exactly. We don't need that.
I think I've said this at some point, but I'll say it again. The largest wedding planning spreadsheet I have ever seen was 51 tabs.
Oh, I can beat it. I had a bride send me 126.
That is absolutely insane. And I know that when you're making that, your intention is organization, structure, peace of mind, but there's some breaking point. And for some people, it happens as soon as you start entering stuff and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Other people, it's like down the line and you think you've got it, and then it comes to that breaking point later. But the structure that you're making is not going to give you the actual guidance and the relief that you're looking for, because it just gets so overwhelming. And that's why we created this whole thing. Like, if you want to be able to have an organized place to live with your planner, your coordinator, your fiance, like, you just got to put it into a place that's organized. And for me, that's plannered. I think everyone
that's plannered. Yeah. I think it's much easier to have everything in one place. Also, my issue with like the Google stuff is like it gets lost for me, at least. Like, so many different pages, and then you have other people sending you other Google Docs. Like our stationary gal sent us one, and then she's like, "Did you have time to do that?" I'm like, "I don't even know where it is. I can't do it. No."
Yeah,
I think just have like internal tabs is 100 times easier.
Yeah. Also, the part where like you, at some point, it's very likely that your parents are going to need to be helping you with something. Like, maybe your dad is giving you all the family addresses that he's been accumulating, or they want to check in, like, how much have I spent on your wedding thus far? And they want to be able to see their contribution, whatever. Like, there's some kind of mental block, at least with my parents and our in-laws. Like, Google Docs as a concept is very complicated for them. And I'm not saying they're wrong, because that web it can be complicated if you don't know how to access it. But we put it all in one place. You log in, it's right there. But I'm biased.
And you can send it to people. My mom literally a week ago, she was like, "Can I just see like budget wise what you've spent, what we still owe, like et cetera, et cetera?" And I was like, "Sure." Boom, done.
Yeah,
done, easy. Okay, last one. Multiple outfit changes beyond just like the traditional, like, you're in your wedding dress for 90% of the time and you're in your dancing outfit.
This one, I'm going to say, so I did an outfit change into this super fun jumpsuit, and the time that I spent in the jumpsuit, I feel like it was a relief to take my dress off, and I'm glad that I had the option, but it wasn't documented as much as I would have wanted it to be. So, like, if you're doing it to be comfortable, that's one thing. If you're doing it and then you also want it to be documented, just be intentional about making sure, like, the photographer is actually staying that long and going to see you in it. Because if it goes late into the night, like, they typically take off before then. So, like, I did it because it was cute and comfortable, but like also wanted it to be photographed, and then it never was. And that was kind of a disappointment for me. Yep. So I think just if you want both, make sure you know that the photographer is going to be there, or that there'll be moments to have it documented. Yes. Otherwise, like, it might be a missed moment, which it kind of was. Like, there are practically no photos of that outfit.
Yeah, I've never seen your jumpsuit. I would love to see your jumpsuit.
It was really cute.
I am the same. I'm actually, from a photography standpoint, I vote the more outfit change, not even outfit changes, but like things that you can like throw in that switch it up. Because if you think about it, you're in your dress for like, 12 hours of this day. You are going to have hundreds, if not thousands, of photos in the same outfit. So I love, and I tell all of my brides this when we're like mapping out the like photos of the day, try to add things in. Like, if you're doing first looks, maybe don't have your bouquet and don't have your veil in. And then that way you can like hold hands and like switch it up. And then, you know, for the ceremony, obviously you're going to have your bouquet and your veil. And then like for couples photos, I'm like, maybe you have a cool hat, do a hat moment, like little things that can break it up so that you have more options from a photo perspective is how my brain works.
Yeah, I think variety is great because you're going to have, yeah, just like you said, so many photos of the same, like mix it up. Yeah.
Switch it up. Same with like the hat. That's the hot topic for us currently is like, well, hairstyle. I have no idea. I've never once, I was saying this to my friend yesterday in the car, for any event that I've had to like get dressed up for, be it like prom or like, you know, that type of event where you're getting like nails, hair, spray tan, makeup, everything done. I have always known exactly what hairstyle I want to do.
Yeah, and you don't this time?
I have no idea. None. No. And like I'm consulting everyone. I'm like short, long, blonde, not blonde. Like, what do I do?
I've been served a lot of reels recently of like the neckline theory, where it's like if the neckline is this or this, like the hair
then
looks
it has to be this.
That could be interesting to look at to see like based on your neckline what.
But that's also what's throwing me off because they were like, if your dress is strapless, you have to do long hair, and I was like,
I don't think necessarily. Whatever makes you feel the sexiest, the most like you, because if it's a hairstyle, like my makeup artist, I'll say this and then we'll log, but my makeup artist was trying to get me to do a party pony for my wedding dress. And I was like, that's just not really me. Like I want the hair down and I feel most like myself with it down. So that's ultimately what I did. And I liked that. But I think the more yourself you can feel.
That's a great way of looking at it. And that's essentially what Trevor said too, because I was like, what do you envision my hair looking like? And he was like, I mean, you either do like long ponytail. He's like, I envision you either like long ponytail or short, because those are like the two things that you do the most. And I'm like, okay, great. So we didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, I think for your partner, it's like if you do something that they never see you in, it could be a little off-putting. Like, oh wow, you went with something that's like so different than normal, and maybe that could be shocking. But yeah, lots to discuss. We can get into. I want to get into like the flow of your day and like the different details, the remaining things that you have to go. We can get into.
Oh, and what's exciting is next week we'll have many more updates. Actually, we could get Trevor involved because we are flying to Montana to do all of our tastings and meet with our wedding planners. So we will actually have like the timeline of the day and like everything mapped out.
I hear a vlog coming.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you made it this far in our pod, you're definitely part of our plannered family. Thank you for listening and catch us next week on Yappily Ever After.